still paranoid. I wake up every single day and am paranoid. Oh, is a man gonna do something to me? My name is Kerry and I am 22 years old. Home to me is a place of comfort, a place I go to when I'm sad or depressed or anxious. Comfort, safety, warmth, soft, familiar. It's definitely art or doing something within the graphic design field that involves art. Since I was a kid, I knew it was forever going to be that safe space for me in a sense, you know, metaphorically speaking. Like, I always knew. I always knew. As a young girl, and into teen years and in adulthood, I experienced a lot of sexual assault and discrimination growing up. So art for me was a way to cope through that. Even when I was a kid, I was sexualized. I had a man tell me when I was 8 or 9 years old, around that age frame, like, he said to me, because I was dyslexic and in special ed classes, he goes to me, it's okay that you're stupid, Kerry, because you're sexually attractive enough to marry a rich man when you're an adult. So I was told that as an 8, 9-year-old. This was another boy at the first school I was at. He was a very good runner on their team. And there was a sprinter on my team. He's like, oh, Kerry, like, let's train together. But this one night, he was like to me, he was like, oh, like, you should come over and watch a movie with me. Me and some of the teammates are gonna be there. And I'm like, oh, sweet. I went to this guy's room and he had a movie going on. And I'm like, where is everyone? He's like, oh, I don't know. I texted them. I don't know if they're coming or not. So I'm like, okay. So me being an idiot, just went in there and he shut the door. And I was just sitting on his bed. And he was playing like a movie or whatever. He's like, oh, you can lay down if you want. A minute after I laid down in the bed, then he lays down in the bed next to me and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and I kind of like was just like in shock. Like, then he started to lay down next to me and I should have, you know, it's just like, I was kind of afraid though too, because he was so much bigger than me. So I kind of froze and I didn't really know what to do either. So he started, you know, trying to touch my boobs and stuff, and I started to like brush off his arm. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, don't touch me. Make a long story short, he like attemptedly tried to rape me. He exposed himself in front of me. He got on top of me and thankfully I was not raped. And I just want to put this out there. I'm so sick of people saying like, oh, what were you wearing and all that shit. I was literally wearing a baggy pair of pants, like the most baggy pair of pants ever, this huge ass sweatshirt. I got back to my dorm room and I literally had bruises on my face. I had a stalker that graduated from my team and he was trying to give me tips on the sport and whatever. So I was an idiot again and was like, okay, you know, like he would FaceTime me and like just give me tips on the sport. At first it was like that, but then he started saying very horribly sexist things about women. Basically it got to the point though, like I started blocking him on my social media. Like I blocked him like over number. I blocked him over Instagram. I blocked him over like this running app. Then he tried to call me up on Google Duel. And I, like an idiot, answered it at like 2 in the morning. And I answered it. And he even said to me too, he's like, oh, if I didn't know you, I'd put a paper bag over your head and fuck you because your face is so ugly. And he said, oh, if anyone knew the real you, no one would ever love you because you're so fucked up. It basically got to the point where the police needed to get involved. I was very paranoid to run outside for like months because he lived close by to the school. So I literally would carry a knife on me. I went to art because I couldn't read or write. Like, it was my way to communicate even back then. It's always been something I've gone back to. I feel like art is my home. Typically, I love doing realistic type of art. So this art I'm just making completely from my imagination. I mean, usually with realistic art, I use a lot of reference images to create my artwork and then add, you know, a spin of whatever subject matter I want.